Let's switch to politics. Last week, of course, the president's on the campaign trail. He's on the campaign trail just virtually all the time now. While he was out there, the Democrats put out an ad that's released this morning that blames the Republicans and specifically the U.S. Chamber of Commerce for injecting foreign money into campaigns. The president's words on the trail last week were, groups that receive foreign money are spending huge sums to influence American elections. Well, let's just look at this ad that the Democrats put out today.
Karl Rove, Ed Gillespie, they're Bush cronies. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce, they're shills for big business. And they're stealing our democracy, spending millions from secret donors to elect Republicans to do their bidding in Congress. It appears they've even taken secret foreign money to influence our elections. It's incredible. Republicans benefiting from secret foreign money.
Now, I want to ask you about that because the New York Times looked into the chamber specifically and said the chamber really isn't putting foreign money into the campaign, that it does charge its foreign affiliates dues that bring in less than $100,000 a year. A lot of organizations, including labor unions, do that. But the chamber has an annual budget of $200 million, and it says along with that, it keeps these foreign dues separate. They do spend heavily in politics, $25 million so far. They expect to spend $50 million. But this part about foreign money, that appears to be peanuts, Mr. Axelrod. I mean, do you have any evidence that it's anything other than peanuts?
Well, do you have any evidence that it's not, Bob? The fact is that the chamber has asserted that, but they won't release any information about where their campaign money is coming from. And that's at the core of the problem here. What we've seen, in part because of a loophole that the Supreme Court allowed earlier this year, we now see tens of millions of dollars being spent by the chamber and a number of organizations, some of which just cropped up. Ed Gillespie and Karl Rove run one of them. Tens of millions of dollars from undisclosed donors under benign names like the American Crossroads Fund, and they're spending heavily in all these elections. In one race in Colorado, there are 6 different organizations running negative ads against the Democratic senator there, Michael Bennet. No one knows where the money's coming from. So I guess my question back to you and for your next guest is why not simply disclose where this money is coming from, and then all of these questions will be answered? Well,
that'll certainly be fine with me, but I want to go back to this thing about the Chamber of Commerce. If they're only taking in $100,000 a year.
If they are.
But you question that. You
well,
say
I don't know.
May...
No one knows, Bob. The point is, I can assert anything I want, but you have, as a good journalist, you'd ask me, well, how do we know that's true? Do you have documentation to prove that? If the chamber opens up its books and says, here's where our political money is coming from, here are the $1 million, or $2 million, or $3 million contributions we've gotten from this company or that industry, then we'll know. But until they do that, all we have is their assertion.
I guess I would put it this way. If the only charge 3 weeks into the election that the Democrats can make is that there's somehow this may or may not be foreign money coming into the campaign, is that the best you can do?
No, I think that we have a more fundamental concern, Bob, which is that the Republican Party and these interest groups who are now the major force in some of these campaigns want to turn the clock back to the very same policies that got us into this mess in the first place, that exploded our deficits, that put the special interests in control or write their own rules, the oil industry, Wall Street, insurance industry, that presided over economic policies that punished the middle class. Their incomes dropped by 5% during the 8 years before we got here, and that ultimately crashed our economy. And now they want to turn the clock back to those policies, and we just can't afford to do that. But this issue of this special interest spending is very important. It's never happened before that organizations are spending this kind of money, and the American people need to ask why is the oil industry, the Wall Street and others spending this kind of money to defeat candidates and elect others in this sort of secretive way, and that is a threat to our democracy.